anybody not seen the movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas?
Really?
Oh my goodness. Well, so let me give you a little summary. So the Grinch was a grouch. The Grinch was not happy. He got really upset before Christmas because he knew what was going to happen. He knew that come Christmas Day down in Whoville, they would wake up and they would start laughing and having fun, and then they would culminate it with this stupid singing da 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 around the Christmas tree. And he thought, I cannot take it another year. All that noise is just noise. It was noise to him. So his idea was to turn his little dog, Max, into a reindeer and make him pull a big sled down to Whoville, where he would take all the Christmas trees, all the presents, just take everything, and the decorations, and load them into a big sled and make Max pull it back up the mountain. Because he figured that if they didn't have any toys or presents or decorations or Christmas trees, they wouldn't be able to celebrate. Well, do you know what happened? Now don't no spoiler alert here to other people. When the Whos woke up Christmas morning and they saw nothing. They didn't see their Christmas trees in their houses. They didn't see any presents. The decorations were all gone. Do you know what they did? They held hands, they formed a circle, and they sang about the joy of Christmas. Well, because nothing was able to stop Christmas from coming in Whoville. The Grinch was flabbergasted. What is a flabber that it gets gasted? Does anybody know? I've always wondered that. Anyway, so he was totally puzzled. How come they weren't all upset? How come he had not succeeded in making them so angry and so desperate and so resentful that there was nothing to celebrate? Well, we know very well why. So the Grinch is a state of consciousness in us. I know we don't want to admit that, but there is Grinch in each and every one of us. It's that state of being when we're feeling very negative, when we're resentful, when we don't think that other people have the right to enjoy themselves, that we want others to suffer the way we're suffering. We think that if we take poison, they'll die. You know, that kind of thing, full of resentment. That's a Grinch state of consciousness. On the other hand, a Whoville state of consciousness represents those parts of us that are loving, that know that life is lived from the inside out. It's not what you have on the outer that makes Christmas Christmas, that makes life wonderful, that can help know that we are created with love and joy. That no matter what, so the thing is that no matter what we're encountering in life, we have the opportunity to choose to live from either our Grinch consciousness or our Who consciousness. Isn't it interesting that when Dr. Seuss wrote this, he called them Whos, because they knew who they were. Isn't that interesting? But the fact that we have both in us gives us the opportunity to choose which one are we going to live from, our Grinch or our Who self, from fear or from love. We really know that we are not victims of circumstance or the actions of other people outside of us can really have an impact on us unless we are in that state of consciousness that resonates with that activity. It starts here. We have a moment-by-moment chance to decide who and what we are going to be, how we're going to respond to either A, view the experiences that comes to us from that sense of unlearned unworthiness, that unworthiness that we feel that really we're not good enough, that we'll never be good enough. We have all these core beliefs that really can screw up our minds and our lives. So we can choose to live from those, or B, we can see these things that happen to us as opportunities to learn to live from love, to chances to affirm our natural worthiness and to live in joy. You see, our natural state is one of worthiness. We in Unity do not believe in original sin. We believe in original blessing. I mean, look at a baby. Really, how is that not a blessing? How can you say that there is anything sinful about this creative little soul? And that's what we're celebrating right now at Christmas time. That little inner Christ in us, that baby that is absolutely pure love, that knows nothing else, that has just come from being in a state of oneness, 100%, and is now manifested here on earth. Tonight you're going to hear more about how we metaphysically interpret the Christmas story, because it's our story of how we create and how we choose as to what we want to create. You know, Jesus, not when he was a baby, but as a grown-up, said, we're children of God. Children of God. And as children of God, how can we be anything less than perfect? In our potential. Remember, that's the key word, in our potential. But the truth is, that right now we are living in the kingdom of God. That's here right now. It's here right now. And we can choose whether we see that and know that and live from that or not. It's not always easy because of these aspects of ourselves that we've been taught to deny, that we've learned through the reactions of others to our behavior, perhaps. These aspects that make us feel so unworthy. Because what happens when we're in that Grinch consciousness? It's just like the Grinch in the movie. We want to persecute people, like we've been persecuted. And to continue our story of being a victim. Now, the Grinch is like a victim consciousness personified, right? Sometimes, because we feel we need to be persecuted, that we are feel that our victimization story is who we are, that we will create situations so that we will then get persecuted. We can do it to ourselves. I mean, I'm not giving any secrets away when I tell you that I was a compulsive overeater, weighed a lot more, and I was doing it to myself. That's how I came to Unity, through 12-step program. What a blessing in my life. How it changed entirely my life. But when we bring forth our who consciousness, we know that everything in the world is sacred. Everybody is a sacred being. I mean, you look at my little dog, Chloe. Is she not a sacred being? You know, pure love, pure love. For those of you who are new, Chloe is here to be cuddled. So please don't leave before you have a Chloe cuddle. The time that we have between now and Christmas is a great opportunity to practice seeing whether we are Grinch or who. And the thing is, we will flip back and forth like it'll make our heads spin. Really. All the stuff that's going on, the rush, the buying the gifts, the cooking, the thinking, oh my God, where's everybody going to sleep, and transporting people, and just the whole thing. The tendency is to let the Grinch rise up in us. But what we need to do is love the Grinch, to let it transform into who consciousness. How do we do this? Well, I have good news for you. You don't need to do it. That Spirit of God within you has already done it. All you need to do is allow it. Allow it. To release any blocks that are there that are keeping that who consciousness from being manifested, from experiencing it. Now, there are, you know the old proverb, pray for rain, but grab a hoe. So God is there just waiting, kind of like in the background, like, I'm ready to go. Just let me know when I can come in and who you. But there's certain things that we can do. The first step that's necessary to transition from a Grinch consciousness into a who consciousness is to develop that part of yourself that can be a gentle observer of what you're doing. It's really hard. There's an analogy I heard that when you're in a dance floor, dancing around to the music, you are all full of what's going on for you in you. You don't really notice what's going on. But if you're up in the balcony looking down on the dance floor, you can see all kinds of things going on. You can see the musicians, you can see people talking, you can see people having a little disagreement over in this corner. You can see people enjoying themselves, some dancing really well, some kind of dancing awkwardly. But you know, you'll see the big picture. In other words, you get the big picture. This morning when I was driving here, up 14th, I said, my gosh, there's a lot of people like going the opposite way. Where are they all going? And then I looked in my rearview mirror and I realized, oh, guess what? There's just as many coming my way. One day I'd like to create a barrier across the road and stand there with a lab coat. You know, when you wear a lab coat and you have a clipboard and you're now an official, stop everybody and say, like, where are you going? And have a check mark. I cannot imagine where everybody is going. They're not all here. Where are they all going? It's just so funny. Anyway, so get out of the actual situation you're in. Watch yourself being in that situation, but looking from an observer so that you're a little bit distant. Distance yourself from that actual reaction that you're making so that you don't need to really dig into it. So number one is observe. Observe yourself. Because if you don't know you're in it, there's nothing you can do to change it. Right? You have to admit that, oh, maybe there's a little challenge here. Maybe, is this the way I want to feel? Maybe not. I mean, we could go on living like that for decades in the Grinch consciousness without even thinking about it. We're thinking that, I mean, it gets so normal for us to just jump in and react instantly to whatever's going on. We've never given ourselves a chance just to stop and look and think, I don't think this is the way that I'm supposed to be living my life. This is a choice that you'll have many, many times a day in your life. From a simplest gesture, Katie already talked about a few of them, when you're letting somebody in when they're trying to merge into your traffic, when you're going down Crowfoot and all those people are passing you on the left-hand lane, when you know very well they're not going down to Lakeview. They're just going to come in at the last minute. Guilty! Thank you for letting me in, and I make sure I always let everybody else in that wants to get in when I merge, when they want to merge. Yeah, because I realize that, yes, I'm not entirely the most patient person. Like this morning I'm there and this guy's going, the speed limit's 70, he's going 69. Hello? Like, get out of my way. So funny. I just have to laugh at myself. I really do. Yeah, I really do. But the whole point is, at the beginning, you don't even try to change it. Don't even try to change it. Just observe. Observe where you are. That's all you need to do, and say, gee, I think I'm in a Grinch state of consciousness right now. So, the second step is to appreciate when you're experiencing the Grinch state of consciousness. Appreciate it. It's an opportunity. Now, it might be easier for you to appreciate yourself when you're in a loving state of consciousnness, because you feel good. Oh, look at me. Am I not a good person? I let that person in, because, and thank you, my who state of consciousness, for allowing me to notice that somebody was trying to get in, and just, relaxing a bit, not being so intense about having to get here at a certain time. So, but it's just, what happens is, if you appreciate that state of consciousness, you're more likely to recognize when you're not in it, but then appreciate that you're not in it, and then God will change that consciousness for you. When you appreciate that you're not in it, and you think, oh, look where I am, God says, yeah, here's my chance, and rushes in and changes your consciousness. Because as you change your thoughts, you change your life. And our consciousness is our thoughts, our actions, our beliefs that we take. Some of them are so subconscious that we're not sure what exactly it's coming from, but it will still be there. But just take a moment, as I said, to remember that everything is sacred, including the Grinches, whether they're you or the Grinches out there. They may bring you the greatest gifts of all. And actually, one of the best relationships that give us the greatest gold are the ones in our lives that are difficult. If we only are persistent in seeking out and getting those nuggets of gold in our lives, then we can change it. Right now, this is a time in human consciousness where we feel that there's a shift happening. Usually it's the storm before the calm that's happening right now. We know there's a lot of storms going on. But we know that that's for a reason. We have to stir it all up so that something else can come out of it. And this Christmas, this ritual that we have here, celebrating Christmas, especially tonight, the 12 powers, affirming the gifts that you are born with, that you can allow to develop, is a miracle, a real miracle. It's actually a process that takes place day by day within us. And as we choose love, we choose not to allow our perceived unworthiness to be our guiding force. We're allowing love to do that. It takes a lot of commitment and persistence. Not easy. So simple, right? Yeah, sure. Sounds simple. It is simple. Not easy. So much easier to blame on the challenges in our lives, our society, our people around us, our work. But the truth is, we're free agents. We can make the choice. And so the opportunity before us this Christmas is to recognize that. You can do it. You can do it. I know you. I see you. That's one of the pleasures, one of the great joys of standing up here and looking into all your eyes and your faces and knowing that you are all sacred beings right here, right now. I see it. I know it. And you're destined to do this, to give birth to that Christ child that's within you in your daily actions. I know that you can step up to the challenge. That's why we're here. And just like the Grinch, we'll find that even he could allow his heart to grow 3 sizes. That was the problem. His heart was too small. And when he allowed them to sing, so he came down and joined them in singing, brought all the decorations back, and life was good. So let's be that Grinch living in Whoville, who is now a who, knows he is a who, because we all are.